I'm Bobby Ches, a three-time world champion, Showtime expert analyst for more than 10 years. You're locked in to the On Ringside.
Hour 2 underway on this 12th day of April. Live from Studio 1, the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Layne. You're listening to Beyond Ringside, Back to Basics on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net. And I'll give everybody their crunch version of it all over again. For those who have not caught up to speed on this one, thank you to everybody who's been dropping by ProWrestlingRadio.net. We are simulcasting through, yes, now both sites and both stations. ProWrestlingRadio.net is now a fully functional online radio station, just like BeyondRingside.com. However, once again, the programming will be shifting over, so there's no guarantee that you're going to hear everything, the same thing at the same time over on .net as you would hear on Beyond Ringside. So you might hear one show on one state. The late night rotator, we're going to be bouncing back and forth between To Be Determined and the Midnight Black Mass with Reverend Dan Wilson and Andrew Alexander. But during prime time or during traditional rotation during the daytime and primetime hours, you're going to be hearing different things on both stations. So definitely check it out. If you miss it on one, you'll be able to catch it on the other. Trust me on this one. Being joined by a great friend of the family from Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, the man himself, Josh Wheeler. Josh, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing terrific. We are 5 days away.
Does it seem like it's taken that long, or does it seem like it's taken forever to get to HomeGrown?
You know, and that's the good thing is I think that we're finally really getting the chops down and getting a lot of the kinks out of just the promotional side of things, and we're able to announce like, oh, we're gonna have this big event on this date. And all these shows are leading up to that big event. Like, right. I feel like that's always been kind of like the goal. And, you know, for a long time you're running monthly or, you know, we're slowly getting to the bye. Let's try that again.
There you go. Take 6.
Okay, sorry. I'm at an apartment complex that I'm not usually at when we do these calls. And so the service is not as good as it usually is.
It's perfectly cool. It comes with the territory, man.
That's why before we went on air, I said, how long do you need? Because I don't know how long I can give you. So, but yeah, so are we still live? Are we live?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so basically, like I was saying, was, you know, now that we've got two set venues in 2 different parts of town, we can now, you know, schedule things and actually have things ready to go. Like, believe it or not, our schedule is pretty much already almost finalized up through September, October now. Just basically like, hey, this is what we want to do here, this is what we want to do here, and if the budget comes in, we want to do this here. So that's, you know, a lifesaver in this industry, especially when you're building something and trying to build consistency and letting fans know, hey, first and third Sundays, one's going to be here, one's going to be on this side, and just kind of building. And then, you know, as we grow, hey, we're going to have a special house show on this day, or a special house show on this day, or hey, we're doing this little fundraiser here. So like, I'm really excited about what we got planned going forward, and we do have a lot going forward. So
now, I've got to say this one, and this is a text conversation that you and I had a couple of months back, because I was able to make it out to the Ring of Honor show up in Gwinnett or Duluth, take your pick on the city call. And I'd made the comment that there were some of the AWE family, friends, all of the above, restraining from using those two famous words, but you know the ones I'm thinking about. And I mean them as a compliment, believe it or not, where you have some people who use it in a detrimental fashion. When you hear somebody use the term Kool-Aid drinkers, I'm sitting back, I'm on my side of the board going, the very passionate fan base that AWE has managed to cultivate. And you have other people that use that in another sense. So rest assured, when I say it, it's actually in a positive and complimentary way.
Well, and I think we got to the point now where we embrace it too. I mean, the last 2 shows we've done, we were selling AWE Kool-Aid, $4. It's Kool-Aid and vodka.
Hey, there you go.
We sold 5 gallons at one show and about 4 gallons at another show. It's a lot of drinks.
Yes.
So bars are happy that we have branded the AWE Kool-Aid. We just released a limited edition T-shirt. We sold,
I saw that.
A very good amount of those, and They got the Kool-Aid Man, and they say Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. So we're embracing the negativity that other people have thrown our way into saying, hey, you know what, we are drinking Kool-Aid. We're drinking Kool-Aid that says pro wrestling still matters in the city of Atlanta.
Yes.
And you know what, they are passionate, they are loud, and I wouldn't have it any other way because of the best fans in the state. And they prove that when they go to other shows.
Yeah.
That's something that other people aren't looking at. Yes, they spend their money with me and with AWE, but they also go and support Team IOU when they're in Empire. They go and support Chip Day when he's in Temple or when he's in Monroe. They go and support Murder One and Iceberg when they're in Barnesville. They go to all wrestling shows in the state. And if more fans would do that, the entire southeastern region would be a hell of a lot stronger.
Oh, I agree 110%. And the thing that I was getting to was the factor of some of the fans being at that Ring of Honor show handing out AWE flyers, which I'm sitting back, and you were very quick to say, I had nothing to do with it. This is all on them. It's like I'm sitting back going, and you know something that makes it even better. Because when the fan base is that passionate about the product that they're outside the venue handing out the flyers for the show, and I'm sitting, one of them recognized me. And it's like, wait a minute, I saw you recently at Masquerade. And it's like, yeah, I was there. And it's like, when you coming back? As soon as my situation permits, and I'm planning to be at Almost Famous. And from there, it's like, you know, with everything leading through Almost Famous and Fish and Grits making the way toward Homegrown, first off, I know that you got pre-sale tickets still going on. How's the pre-sale going?
No, pre-sale is over.
Oh,
we ended pre-sale a week early. I wanted to make sure that we could accommodate all the VIP tickets we sold. It's our best pre-sale ever. We are already on pace for our highest gate in company history.
Nice.
And we're expecting a nice little turnout. And you know, we did it so we know exactly how many people are coming to meet and greet. So we know, hey, meet and greet's got to start at this time because our pre-show's got to start at this time. So we're going to try to boom, get everybody in. That's for the VIP and the meet and greet. Let them meet Ciampa. Let them meet Callahan. Let them meet Marty again. If they want to meet Ken, they can. They want to meet the Hierarchy or Martin Stone or any of these people. We want to get them in, get them meet up, because at 3:30, those VIP ticket holders are getting a very special pre-show that is not available for the people walking up.
Really?
And we've been trying to tell people. We've been trying to tell people consistently, get your tickets in advance or you're going to miss out. And if you did not get your tickets in advance, you will be standing outside until 4 p.m.
Now, I know that there's been a little, and this is just between us and everybody listening, for a lot of the people who've been to AWE live events, because whether it was at the Quad, whether it was at the Masquerade, you had a little bit better crowd control than you did at the Quad. But you also ran into at Famous Pub a little bit of a float through as far as the crowd. Now, are you going to be able to monitor the gates a little bit better at Campbellton Road?
Oh, it's completely easier. The front door, where the front door is situated, we actually we did a soft open of the new Fanatics Arena, Campbellton Road Center, Campbellton Road Community Center at Durham Fish and Grits. Mama Matthews, who runs the door, does a great job. She's right there. So as the door opens, she's right there. And then, you know, no one's getting by her because that's the only door, and you cannot get in without her being there, without her seeing you. So that's a huge thing right there. And plus, I mean, you know, I don't know if a lot of people weren't at Fish and Grits, but new area, new thing, we actually had guardrails. And by second match, our guardrails were no longer needed because our fans moved them. But we do have access to guardrails, and we can set those up outside. We can have two lines. We can have the VIP line, and then we can have everybody else's lined up. You know, it's going to be a good time, but at the same time, like, hey, you know, if you didn't buy your VIP tickets, you didn't get your meet and greet, you didn't get your pre-sale, you're going to miss out on 3 amazing pre-show matches.
And let's take a look at those, because one of the matches that I'm noticing is the Cold Hard Defense Contractors taking on Slade Porter and the Believers.
Yeah, that is Paul Coldhard, who has been with us since early season 2.
Right. Has
finally found some security guards, or he calls them now the Cold Hard Defense Contractors, of Jacoby Boykins and Chris Main, his ambassadors of the CDC. And they are looking to get in their winning ways by facing a young upstart from Florida and Slade Porter, and some guys that he hit it off with pretty well backstage, and Austin Blackburn and Everett Collins, the Believers. So it's going to be an interesting little 6-man, but, we're looking forward to it. It's definitely a huge size difference. I don't know if you've ever seen Jacoby Boykins and Chris Mayne.
Oh yeah,
they're not small dudes.
No,
so
actually,
it's going to be a very interesting, mismatch in sizes and styles. And who knows what those Cold Hard boys are going to be up to, because, like I said, Paul Coldhard is he's a pretty crafty young man, and he's taking his lumps and his bumps, and he's looking to make Homegrown a day that people remember the CDC.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask the question because I don't know. And so the CDC is the evolution of Cold Hard Security.
Yes, Paul Coldhard started out way back at To Be the Man. Him and his cousin Julian were contracted by Tommy Pinarelli to be his bodyguards. Tommy Pinarelli moved to Florida. They were kind of without a role, and they started trying to, get people to hire them for security.
Right.
And then, unfortunately, an injury to Julian put him on the back burner, and Paul Coldhard just kept trucking along trying to find people. And a few months ago, he hired Chris Henry and Sea Dog, Dane Caillou, and they embarrassed him, and he fired them, and he's been looking for new people. And now he won the respect of Chris Mayne, and Chris Mayne brought in his buddy Jacoby, and there you go. That's how the CDC was born. But again, we have no story, folks.
But I'm ready, aim, fire. Okay. Yes, that was a shot. Now, actually, I can sit back and say, longtime friend of the family, Jacoby Boykins, the Alabama ambassador, Mr. 256. This is a man who can back up with his actions anything that he has said. I've watched him take on competitors on different sizes, different strength levels, different experience levels. So I'm going to sit back and say Coldhard has got himself a diamond, not a diamond in the rough, but a diamond in Jacoby Boykins. I'll say that any day of the week.
I kind of agree with that, and we're very excited to see just how far the CDC can go. And I think, like I said, Paul Coldhard is not an idiot. He might look like an idiot. He might do some stupid things, and he did get his ass beat by DJ Hyde recently. But through that, he earned the respect of, like I said, the ambassadors, and they said they want to be a part of the CDC.
Yeah, I kind of remember a scenario that took place. I believe it was at Almost Famous, if my notes are correct.
Yeah, I guess he told DJ that he needs to watch himself, and that Murder One needs to go to the back before he has to take care of them both, or something of that nature.
Yeah. That was poetic. I will sit back and say that. Also on the pre-show exclusively for VIP holders this coming Sunday, April the 17th, Gary J taking on Trip Cassidy.
That one's going to be amazing. I can't even put into words how that match, Jerry J is on a whole other level right now when it comes to professional wrestling. The last show he was at was at Fish and Grits. Him and Martin Stone freaking tore the house down. A few weeks before that, he was at Hell of the King, and him and Aaron Epic literally tore the house down at the Enclave. And it's just, when that's your pre-show main event, as it is for ours, what does that mean for the 11 shows in the main show?
Very true. Also on the pre-show, Ronnie Dazzle taking on Ryo.
Yeah, Ryo is a nice young competitor from Maryland Championship Wrestling, making his ways in the Northeast. Been a part of the Dojo Wars up there at CZW.
Right.
Making his travels back down. And, Ronnie Dazzle, again, we have no story, but this Luscious Ronnie Dazzle thing is definitely an interesting thing to follow. LaRon was, this sexual deviant. Somehow, I guess his inner darkness came out and created Ronnie Dazzle, and now Ronnie Dazzle is legitimately running roughshod over the entire company, and it's kind of scary what he's done. He's calling himself the Crypt Keeper, and when he beats people, he takes things from them, and so he's been carrying around Siler's hammer, LeBron's wig, and then he's got remnants of Dartmon's skull from early on in season 2, and who knows, maybe he's going to take Ryo's soccer ball on the 17th.
And as we move into the main roster, or not the main roster, I'm sorry.
Yeah, not the main show. I mean, that's
no.
Homegrown. These guys are all part of our main roster.
No,
that's why they're all part of Homegrown. So
I will sit back and say this because of the fact that during the previous hour, myself and tag team partner Mark MaBo Bowman were actually utilizing the term main roster, NXT, SmackDown, Raw, all of the above. That's where my brain just defaulted back to the term main roster. But and I apologize for that, my fault. But of course, the lineup for the main show, I'm just going to start with this one where this is probably one of the most volatile situations between two individuals, and that's Siler Cross and Adrian Armour.
Yeah, that one, you were at Almost Famous. You saw when Adrian Armour just kind of exploded. And at Fish and Grits, he had a chance to earn the number one contendership. And for those of you that don't know, Adrian Armour has literally been wanting a match with Jimmy Reyes since to be the man. When Jimmy won the title, Adrian Armour agreed to him backstage and said, "Hey, I want a title shot. Let me have a title shot." And Jimmy said, "No, not until you earn it." Armour had his chance to earn it. He lost again in a big match situation. Siler Cross, his best friend, came out just trying to, just be a buddy, and it blew up. And Siler Cross laid him out with a lariat, and the match was made. Homegrown, these two former tag partners. This match literally is 2 years in the making. If you go back in the history of AWE, like these guys have been together since the second show, and so this one's definitely two best friends who are not happy with each other right now. So
can I use the line that you've been using? But still, y'all don't have. But still, you don't have stories.
Oh yeah, right, of course.
I understand the concept on that one. I think I know where that might have come from, but like I said, we'll talk about that on there.
Probably the same people that said we're all our fans drink Kool-Aid.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
Probably the same people that, just consistently just, toss softballs about it. So there you go.
Well, by the same token, some people think that their opinions are purely platinum, where those people who have a clue understand that they're cotton balls.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's my take on that. Don't get me started on that individual. I mean, I just always find it funny that the two biggest critics of Georgia wrestling, one was in Florida, one was in Tennessee, but that's another story for another day. Yeah, no, that would be on Thursday Night Shooters Gallery. We can let it rip on that one. I am waiting. I'm going to say this one, folks. For those of you that missed Almost Famous, and I don't know what happened at Fish and Grits, if there was any kind of confrontation between these two, but you almost saw a moment where a team, in retrospect, was I'm not going to say humiliated, but I'm going to say was given the inspiration to be even more pissed off and suicidal than they already are. And considering the fact that this Sunday, this is going to be a last team standing match, with all due respect to everybody on this card, because you've got some hellacious matches lined up, Josh, but I'm going to sit back and say, for tag team wrestling fans, this match will be worth the price of admission, not only for this show, but two others. I guarantee it. When you have the Down South Dandy, Nick Iggy, the Music City Mutt, Kerry Awful, also known as Team IOU, taking on the Spring Street Suicide Squad, Chris Crunk and Mr. No F's Given, Ken Lee. These guys had a tag team war at Almost Famous. But I will tell
and that was a wrestling match.
Yeah, it was.
A fight. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know if you guys saw the promos that we put on Facebook, but I mean, both teams are geared up for this. They're both ready for this. I'm looking real forward to this one, just as as a fan, I mean, just as a promoter. But I mean, you got a tag team that no one knew anything about, 6 months ago when they formed. I mean, they were just, hate to say it, they were just two guys trying to find themselves in the wrestling business, and then they get on this win streak here in Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. They go to New York. They're part of Tier 1. They're given a Tier 1 tag team term. They show that the South can fly in the Northeast, so to speak. And then, that animosity of them getting that booking over Nick and Kerry fueled Nick and Kerry saying, hey, we want to beat the shit out of these guys, pardon my language, and that's what they did. And that's what scared me the most about this last man standing match is we know what Nick and Kerry will do in a violent situation. We saw it show of the year. Ken and Kronk, we have no idea what they're going to do when it's violent.
I still have to sit back and say the poignant moment where Ken was just nailed on one particular double team move by IOU, and a young lady on the front row on my left screamed at the top of her lungs, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny." And yes, since nobody else took it, I was the one who screamed, "You bastards." Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, it was funny. And that's one of the reasons why I love AWE, because the fan base is so mobilized and just, okay, so damn much fun. And that's what it's supposed to be all about.
Yes, and that's the thing, like, at time, and that's where we were. I want to say, what show was it? Hell the King. You know, we were at the Enclave, and we were thinking to the Enclave, and for some reason, like, the fans were there. We actually did a very good house there, but it's just like it's like something was missing with the fans. It was a weird vibe that night. But then those fans were completely, it was the same people just a few weeks later, almost famous. And it was like, hey, we're having fun again. We're back.
Right.
It was a very weird dichotomy between the two shows. And part of me, like, I don't want to say anything bad about the Enclave, because they gave us a short-term home when we didn't have a place to go if the quad closed. And, you know, they at least, you know, let us come in there. But just some of the other places always felt cold and different.
Right.
And the fans kind of reciprocated that at times. But like I said, I think we found two great homes now. I love that. I love the set of the Famous Pub. I love what we're doing there. And I really think that when people see the Camden Community Center, the Fanatics Arena, as we're calling it, they're going to see high ceilings. They're going to see a parking lot of 300 freaking cars. They're going to see this, you know, this community that, in my lifetime, that's the area that gave us some of the greatest Atlanta music in the history of the world, and now we get to bring wrestling to that area. And I just, like, to me, it's so poetic. It's so cool that where hip-hop was born is where we're trying to rebuild wrestling. And that, to me, like, almost gives me goosebumps to know that 5 miles up the street is where the Dungeon family helped create the Outcast sound.
Right.
And I was just the other day hanging posters where Refill Wade goes to get chicken wings. And, like, that, to me, is, like, you know, as a kid who grew up in the Atlanta area and spent most of my impressionable years in the Atlanta area, that's so cool. Like, that would be like a kid in Jacksonville going to the same bars as Leonard Skinner.
Right.
Or a kid in Seattle going to the same restaurant and coffee shop as Kurt Cobain. Like, that's what that kind of entitles, you know, that local area. And, like, that's what I think is missing, is people don't respect the local scene sometimes, like, and how cool Atlanta is as a city.
I have to do this. We are, sorry, 27 before the top of the hour on the live side. And once again, that's 27 till 10 in the central time zone, 27 till 8 on the West Coast. Thank you and I've been a little bit in a cubby hole for the last 38 hours, something so to speak, because I've just been so damn busy. Good friend of the family and actually my normal co-host, for Back to Basics, Phil Stamper, just sent me along the message that I did not know. Apparently pro wrestling superstar, legend, all of the above, Balls Mahoney has passed away, and this is the first I'm hearing about it. So I'm going to say,
I didn't know this either.
Yeah. And so I don't know how breaking the news is on this one, but, this one just totally took me off guard. But, from that vantage point, I'm going to go ahead and sit back and say, I will say on behalf of the entire Beyond Ringside family and, the family of shows, that we would like to extend our heartfelt condolences, thoughts, prayers, and best wishes to the family and inner circle of friends to find peace during this moment right now. But, pro wrestling great Balls Mahoney passing away, that's definitely a big one for 2016 or for any year, hell. So, I mean, a man who did a hell of a lot and put his body on the line for this industry in more ways than I've got active brain cells leaves us. So physically he may be gone, but in spirit he will definitely be remembered for a long time to come by a lot of pure and real wrestling fans. Josh, anything you want to add?
That just shook me up. Like, part of me is like, man, I need to, like, go and make some phone calls and find out what's going on, because I know a lot of people that I'm close to are real good friends with Balls. So
right.
That's I'm shaking with it one. Not even gonna lie. That just totally caught me off guard. But, I mean, you know, we could run into the entire card, but just, you know, real quickly, I mean, Sami Callihan versus Chip Day, match of the year anywhere in the world. Ciampa versus Martin Stone, you guys saw it on NXT. Come see it live. We're not giving them 8 minutes on network TV. We're going to give them on, you know, we're going to let these guys do their thing. Like, we're going to let wrestlers be wrestlers, and the best man's going to win. Jimmy Rave versus AR Fox, 2 out of 3 pinfall. or 2 or 3 falls, sorry, just to run down this idea. Junior is undefeated. Can AR Fox beat him twice in the same night? That's, you got all kinds of stuff like that. You got the besties coming up. They're promoting that Southern family-friendly wrestling that we don't condone. Our fans can't stand them. Our fans were throwing trash at them the other night when they first came out. And yet they're going to face the Sound of Fury. So you know all about the Sound of Fury. You were at shows a year, so.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, man, I mean, this show, and then, of course, DJ Hyde versus Iceberg will finally happen. Unfortunately, a situation in Iceberg's personal life took place, and he couldn't be at Almost Famous to face DJ Hyde. You saw what DJ Hyde did to William Huckabee, but now he's going to get the Monster Berg in the ring. And I'm sure a lot of your fans know who Iceberg is.
Oh, yeah.
15, 20-year vet here in the South. I mean, he's a man that beat Abdul the Butcher. He's a man that was the NWA Wildside Heavyweight Champion. He's a man that defeated Rick Michaels and David Young, and he's defeated, so many other people. Him and Tank were a dominant tag team. If you look at the history of the Northeast and the Southeast, the subtle war that's always been about the Northeast and the Southeast, DJ Hyde helped build the Philly, ultra-violent scene. There's no doubt in my mind that Iceberg helped build the violence of the Southeast scene.
Right. Well, do me a favor. I can cover in the next segment anything that we may have missed, and I'm going to give one more complete rundown for the card in the next segment. So I tell you what, do me a favor. Let everybody know ticket prices, availability, and how they can get them.
Ticket prices are going to be $20 at the door. There are very few limited seats still available for second and third row. Those will be $35. These will not include meet and greet or VIP access. These are at the door. We're sorry about that. If you would like to purchase a VIP ticket, you could possibly message the AWE Twitter or the AWE Facebook, and I might be nice enough to maybe figure out a way to let you get a VIP ticket before the show, but they are no longer available online without going through me. So.
And okay, so once again, they would definitely go through you, and the rest of the tickets are available front door, limited availability, possibly second and third row, but do not wait. Get in touch now. Like I said, if you want to try to get that VIP pass, definitely message the AWE Twitter account, and don't forget it's ATL Wrestling ENT on Twitter. Also, I think it's Facebook. Same thing on Facebook, right?
Facebook is facebook.com/Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment.
Okay. And then on Instagram, it is
ATL Wrestling ENT, Snapchat, ATL Wrestling ENT, and our website is AtlantaWrestlingEntertainment.com.
Brother, it is always a pleasure. I want to go ahead and I would love to be able to sit back and say that we're definitely going to have a Beyond Ringside presence this coming Sunday. I will definitely keep in touch with you throughout the course of the week, and if things work out, I would, yes.
Real quickly before I get off, I know some of the wrestlers was on the show. Do not forget, May 14th, Temple, Georgia. Brutal Bob Evans is coming to Georgia for the first time ever to do a seminar. It is $50. That is available through our website. There's a link on the news page about the Brutal Bob seminar. I'll link that also on our Twitter as well. If you're a wrestler and you want to get seen by a guy who works for Ring of Honor, don't hesitate. Don't complain about the $50. Just say, I want to make an investment in my career.
Right.
If I spent money to go to college. I spent money to learn different trades in my life. I think you did too. If you really want to do something, you make it happen. You sacrifice a few bucks here or there to make it happen. Learning from Brutal Bob and getting Bob to see you is a stepping stone. Look at the guys that were at this year's Top Prospect Tournament.
Yep.
Every one of them went through Brutal Bob Evans seminars. Every one of them. Do not sit back and say, why is so-and-so getting booked for Ring of Honor, but I'm not, because you didn't invest in your career.
Exactly. That is one thing I will sit back. Now, is this going to be under the banner of AWE? Is this going to be under the banner?
It is under the banner of AWE. He's actually going to be doing a double shot that weekend. He's going to wrestle for AWE the Sunday following, but he's doing a seminar in Temple, Georgia. It's an Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment seminar, but UIW will also be associated with it. So it's a good chance for UIW officials, Stan Robinson and Billy Knight, to see you. It's a good chance for, us to see you at AWE, and it's a good chance for Brutal Bob to see you and tell you exactly what Ring of Honor is looking for.
Josh, brother.
And at the end of the day, that's what everybody wants, is they want to get to the next level. And, hey, it's the game we play now, and Brutal Bob, you can learn a lot from him. You can make yourself more valuable. You can make yourself a better wrestler. And at the end of the day, that's all I've ever asked for anybody to do, is make themselves better and raise the bar. Say what you want about me personally, but you look at what we did 2 years ago when we first put this idea together, and you look at where we are at now. We got our biggest show ever coming up on Sunday, and you look at that poster, both sides, the men and the women, there's a lot of talent on there. And that's through hard work and determination from us in the office and from everybody on the ground floor and those passionate Kool-Aid drinkers and from all the boys that drive or fly hours to be a part of something special, rebuilding wrestling in Atlanta. Saturday, Layne, you know I'm homegrown.
I'm going to sit back and say this. Number one, actually, I got 3 things I want to say before you run. Number one, I've been on board with AWE ever since I first found out about it, and we brought you on for the first time on Wrestle Rage, for which it was great to be able to talk to you the first time, and I thank you for sticking with the Beyond Ringside family of shows. Thank you for hanging out with me every chance you get. I know that your work schedule has changed, and I'm glad you were able to make it on tonight. Number 2, folks, it doesn't matter. If you live in Georgia, great, be homegrown. That's for damn sure. But if you live in Tennessee, southeastern Tennessee, if you live in South Carolina, if you live in northeastern Florida, even northwest Florida, come up at 65 to 85. If you live in eastern Alabama, there is no reason why you should miss this show. Genuinely. And this is me shooting straight from the hip. If you call yourself a genuine fan of professional wrestling, look at this lineup. Listen to what we just talked about on some of these matches. You have got something for every style of wrestling fan that's out there. Whether you like good old-fashioned Saturday night brawls, or if you like the high flyers, if you like technicos, if you like the rudos, it doesn't matter. You've got something that is going to draw your attention. The ladies that they have in the Roar division, with all due respect to Ashton Starr, can work. I mean, I'm pretty sure he'd be okay with me calling him ma'am or something like that, but still by the same token, let's put the world in, and not to mention the fact you've got Kira Hogan and Kimberly that's going to be a part of the Homegrown versus Hierarchy match.
That's true. I didn't get into that match. I mean, that right there. I mean, you're looking at a chick who's been featured. Sorry, a chick is probably dated, but anyway, you're looking at a woman who has been featured in Rolling Stone, a woman who is the champion of Chikara,
yes,
one of the top independent professional wrestling, and then you're talking about a girl who literally 1 year to the exact day made her professional wrestling debut. And what a story that is. A girl who was at the very first AWE show. It's on there's a blog about it, but I just want to put this over because I'm so proud of these kids. Kiara came to interview people. Owen Knight ran music on the very first AWE show at the Brady Rec Center in College Park, and they have worked their way up to a main event slot at the biggest show ever. That's dedication, that's determination, and that's wanting to be better than you were the day before.
And for everybody, for all of us in the world of pro wrestling, that's the trick, that's the concept, that's the idea, that's the goal. Use every occasion to make yourself that much better. And look, like I said, I've been on board, and you can call me a Kool-Aid drinker if you want to. I appreciate what AWE has done to try to bring back quality wrestling to Atlanta. And I will sit back and say this. Once again, if there's no football games going on, basketball season's pretty much done. And we're in the early part of baseball.
Terrible.
We're in the first early part of baseball season, which really doesn't count. It's like everything for the first 1/3 after the start of a NASCAR race. The fun stuff happens 2/3 the way through. Well, guess what? From start to finish, pre-show to main event, you've got one hell of a lineup coming up this coming Sunday, folks. Mark your calendars, make your plans. For our friends around the Southeast, you don't even have to live in the Southeast. The show is going to be worth at least a 3-hour drive. So seriously, take that one into play. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm going to go ahead and let you run. I want to talk to you for a second off air. Folks, good friend of the family, Josh Wheeler with Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment right here on Back to Basics. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a moment.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling. Uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
What's up, everybody? This is the Master of Malice, Mark James, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark MaBo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Hello, wrestling fans. This is Action Mike Jackson, 9 times U.S. Junior Champion, first ever Alabama champion, and I want to tell you what I'm tuned into, Beyond Ringside.
On the last set, 8 minutes before the top of the hour. Sorry about the extended commercial break for everybody listening live. Trying to get a little bit more information and not really being able to get that much, and also passing the word along. Once again, breaking news coming in just a little while ago. Normally I'm the last to know about things. That's the God honest truth, and we found out on air. Special thank you to my one of my tag team partners on Tuesday nights, Phil Stamper, for passing the word along to me about the passing of Balls Mahoney. Just took me by surprise and completely off guard. I'd like to welcome back in tag team partner from Beyond Ringside Live on Sundays, Mark MaBo Bowman. Welcome back, brother.
What's up?
My blood pressure. Still just trying to wrap
my debt. So
hey,
there you go.
Oh God, mine is through the roof. I'm not even going to go there. But, yeah, I'm really kind of curious. Okay. Yeah, Stamper's, Phil Stamper is going to be calling in about 10 minutes from right now, so we're going to keep this edition going for a little while. Of course, everybody who longtime listeners know, to back to basics, this thing could go 3-4 hours and not even blink an eye. That's
especially if Bill Barron's called in.
Oh boy! And of course,
somebody get Bill on the phone.
Trust me, we can do this now. Be careful.
Get Bill on the phone. I'm looking for a reason not to go to work tomorrow.
And actually,
sorry, boss, can't come in. Bill Barron's called.
Yeah, really.
And the next words out of his mouth are, "Who the hell is
Bill Barron's?"
Like,
of course, you know Wick would be pissed if Barron's called in and he wasn't a part of the call.
oh, Wick.
Now, real quick, before we get back into everything full scale, I want to say a very special thank you to Josh Wheeler. Of course, Josh has connections and friends and family that stem up to Balls Mahoney, so therefore that's why he needed to go ahead and bolt. And you could tell he was shaken by it, just like I was, just like everybody who's been getting the news. I want to run this down for everybody. The pre-show for VIP ticket holders this Sunday at Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. Remember, Cold Hard Defense Contractors, which of course includes a good friend of the Beyond Ringside family. The Alabama ambassador, Mr. 256, Jacoby Boykins, will be a part of the CDC as they take on Slade Porter and the Believers. Once again, Ronnie Dazzle taking on Ryo and Gary J taking on Trip Cassidy, and that's just the pre-show, kids.
Wait. Ronnie Dazzle?
Yes.
Love it.
Oh, you would too. You would, absolutely. That's why you really should be there with me this coming Sunday if I'm able to make the trip. Once again, the implosion and the explosion of the Lethal Weapon, Siler Cross versus Adrian Armour. That is going to be one hell of a match. Last team standing, the Spring Street Suicide Squad, Chris Crunk and Ken Lee. Absolutely great tag team. These guys are fun to watch, but this is going to be a last team standing match as they take on Team IOU. Oh my God, this is going to be.
Familiar with them boys.
Huh?
familiar with them boys.
Oh yeah, Nick Iggy and Kerry Awful. Like I said, these two teams had a hell of a match and I'll send you the link to it because I put the video up on my personal, but I left it unlisted. Sorry, kids, pulling back the curtain. Back at Almost Famous earlier in the season. From there, finally, it is going to happen. For the first time ever, two of the most influential as far as the hardcore and ultra-violent side of life goes, death matches, weapons matches, all of the above. The No Pain Train, the Being of Unspeakable Horror, the Iceberg will be taking on the man with Combat Zone Wrestling, DJ Hyde. This is going to be a hell of a lot of fun to watch, wrestling fans all the way across the board. These two, I'm going to sit back and say this is going to be a slugfest. That's the nice way of putting it too. And of course, DJ is going to be escorted to ringside by the Priscilla Kelly. I know that was sexist. I don't care. She's beautiful. The Kang comes home in a match that is going to be look, I'm going to nominate this one for the Don't Blink match of the night as Drew Adler takes on Sugar D. Holy hell. I don't care about toothpicks.
Takes on who?
Sugar Dunkerton.
Oh, Sugar D.
Yeah, Sugar D. He's good. The man's got
Sugar D. I thought you said Shathid. I was like, Eddie, I think you're mispronouncing Shathid.
No, it's Sugar. Okay, he's doing Sugar D as well as Sugar D and Sugar Dunkerton.
I know. I was just saying, it sounded like I had the phone away from my ear for a minute, and it sounded like you said Shathid.
Yeah, no.
I was like, no.
These two are going to be absolutely incredible in ring with each other. Drew Adler, of course, top tier, top flight competitor, and Sugar Dunkerton. What can you say about him that hasn't already been said in triplicate and then some? We may get the whole damn network on the line before it's over with. I know Shooter's Gallery is going to be a lot of fun this coming Thursday.
Well, I know. You said Phil Stanford's about to call in.
Yes.
So I'll make this short because I do have to go. I'm actually. It's a special occasion, kids. I'm actually putting sheets on my bed. I do that about once every 4 months.
There you go. But let me run the rest of this real quick because you're going to love this. Aaron Epic taking on Shane Strickland. This is another match that could be a main event just about anywhere. Tag team, give me a break. Tag team, I'm sorry. I really want to see this one because you have got Southern Strong Style taking on Family Friendly Wrestling. You heard him make it a reference a little while ago. The Beautiful Bald Besties. Michael Stevens and Zach Edwards taking on the combination of the Sound and the Fury, Joe Black and William Huckabee. Oh my God, this is going to be a fun match to watch. The Homegrown versus the Hierarchy, the power couple of Atlanta, Kiera Hogan and Owen Knight taking on the Hierarchy, Murder One and Kimber Lee. Mark will now commence to going into seizures from drooling very rapidly for the next 2 minutes.
No, not really.
Okay. I still have your picture of her that you still have yet to get.
Well, we have to get together, sunshine.
Okay. You're going with me Sunday. In a Roar Division 4-way, Brittany Blake, Maya Morrison, Ashton Starr, and Marty Bell. Once again, that's going to be one to watch. We got.
I do like me some Brittany. Sorry, I was yawning there. Not because I was bored with it. I was just lack of oxygen and it's sleepy time.
There you go.
But I do like me some. I ain't gonna lie now, son. I do like me some Brittany Blake there, buddy.
Tommaso Ciampa taking on Martin Stone. Hi NXT, how you doing?
I've heard of that guy before. That there, Tommaso Ciampa. It reminds me of a guy that I saw many years ago, went by the name of Tommy Penmanship. Just if you run into Tommaso Ciampa, if you do go Sunday, and you run into Tommaso Ciampa, ask him how Tommy Penmanship's doing.
I certainly will. The Death Machine is coming. Chip. Yes, and Sami Callihan will be taking on Chip Day.
Yeah, Chip. I know Chip Day's. He's up for the fight.
That's just going to be, and of course for the Georgia Wrestling Crown, 2 out of 3 falls. The Crown Jewel, Jimmy Rave takes on A.R. Fox.
I've heard of that Jimmy Rave kid before. I think he's done a couple things.
Oh, maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah. But no, I'm interested in Martin Stone, formerly Danny Burch of NXT.
Right.
I mean, he plied his trade in Europe, much like, or in the UK and Europe, much like a bunch of them, but he chose to stay around in the U.S., and I know he still does stuff for NXT from time to time under Martin Stone, which is what he competed under before, but, yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he's, working the southern states, but hey, that's good for those of us who never got a chance to see him in NXT.
And like I said, you get a chance to, folks, this coming Sunday, 2800 Campbellton Road, the Fanatics Arena with Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. It's going to be a 4:05 Eastern Time start. And remember, the pre-show matches, they're going to be a lot of fun to watch, and that's serious. Going to shift over. Thank you again to Josh Wheeler. And like I said, I promised Josh that I would give the card one more complete rundown. But since he did have to run and always a pleasure to have Josh on board. Maybe I'm going to turn it back over to you for a second, because I know that with everything that's been going on in the last couple of weeks, you've got a lot on the brain. Of course, being in the brand new place, one of your happiest text messages to me is that you can actually now watch
New Japan.
Yes.
And Lucha Underground.
And Lucha Underground. Now, have you had a chance to, have you got it on board to where you caught last week's episode of Lucha Underground?
Yeah, actually I did. And I want to, be honest with you, I wouldn't, and it's just going to sound stupid, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'm actually more interested in just watching the storylines, just the pre, the film stuff. I mean, the matches, I've seen the matches before, and there's a couple people, like, whatever. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not available on the on-demand section of Charter,
right?
Because there's no El Rey on demand, so I can't go back and watch past episodes. But yeah, I'm all about legitimately watching the just the actual storyline, the soap opera side, if you will. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested. I know that they're filming season 3 right now, and there's been some shakeups, and that's all I'm gonna say. I haven't seen a full list of what's happened, but I have seen a couple of shakeups. But you won't know what happened until 2017. So I'm like, that's a little crazy, but whatever. But yeah, between it and then it's almost like they do a pseudo retrospect on New Japan, because what they're showing right now took place in July of 2015. So, they were up until this past episode. The Kingdom were the reigning IWGP Heavyweight Tag Champions. But it's still kind of cool to see it. Kind of see. I've always liked, I've had a on again, off again relationship with Japanese wrestling, but it's definitely cool to see, like the Bullet Club before, Gallows and Anderson and AJ left. It's great. I've always been a fan of Okada's. I've always been a fan of Kushida, and seeing Shinsuke Nakamura, of course. That boy. Whew. He is Mr. Entertainment. I'm gonna go tell you right now. He is Mr. Entertainment. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just really cool that I get to see that stuff. But before I do step away, with the passing of Balls Mahoney, I just want to share, if I got a few seconds, I just share a quick Balls Mahoney story.
Make yourself at home.
So it was back during the big WWE ECW, resurgence or whatever. The one time they held it at Birmingham, I think it was pre-SmackDown, and everybody was coming in and out or whatever, and Balls Mahoney, when he was just Mahoney on the WWE ECW roster,
right?
And
because for some reason they couldn't say balls.
Huh? Yeah, because they could say balls.
Right.
But he could, he was coming out there and giving back to the fans, and I don't just mean like, herpes. He was actually coming out there and, signing autographs, taking pictures, joking around, and I mean, usually if you get a picture with a superstar, you might get like a lean in or something, or you know, if it's with a diva, you do the hover hand where you put your arm around her shoulder, but your physical hand is about 6 inches away from her actual body.
Right.
We all know hover hands. We've all done it before.
Yeah.
But Balls was like getting very interactive. I mean, to the point of like physically grabbing fans for pictures, like not groping, of course, but like just in fun poses, like headlocks and sleepers and all that.
Right.
And like he took like he would do the old Abdullah or Sabu or whatever. Like if somebody had a Sharpie and he would act like he was jabbing it into the throat of the person he was taking a picture with. And my buddy Jeff, we were down there, and I was like, hey, can you do the foreign object into the throat thing? He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And so he did that, and he took the picture, and then Jeff's like, I was like, hi, boss, can I get a picture? And he's like, of course, brother. He's like, no problem. And I've got the picture. I don't know if it's on Facebook or not. If it is, I'll post it, and I'll tag you in it, Eddie. Taking a picture with Balls, and then all of a sudden, out of nowheres, and keep in mind, Balls had been signing autographs, taking pictures, touching people. Lord knows what he was doing before he came out there. Next thing, and I'm the only person he did this to because he did not do it to anybody else. I watched him. Next thing I know, Jeff's like, all right, 1, 2, and on 3, Balls Mahoney legitimately fish hooks me with his finger in my mouth.
Oh, God.
And this was no acting, this was no playing. The look of terror and confusion in my eyes was real. This was not, hey, let's mug it up for the camera. This was, this dude's disgusting finger is in my mouth. To make it even worse, I could taste what he had for lunch on his fingers.
Oh, God. I'm going to barf.
And I'm like, legitimately, I was just like, because I could taste it, and I was like, what is that? Because it had sort of like a citrusy Asian taste to it. And I was like, what did you have for lunch? And he went, Mandarin. He said, Mandarin chicken salad. Like Mandarin Chinese chicken salad, with the wontons and the lettuce. And I was like, yeah, I can taste that. So, there you go. There's my Balls Mahoney story.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't get any kind of diseases or viruses. So, to find out that he passed away, I mean, for those of anybody who's kept up with the wild and crazy days that were the original ECW and those who were left after it who didn't go on to full-time WWE contracts or whatever, we know that, there's a lot of them that had to battle demons. I'm not going to make any speculations. Any speculations I do have, I will keep to myself. But, a lot of people will tell you, I mean, the videos are out there, the accounts are out there. Balls Mahoney had his demons, as did a lot of people of that time. Regardless of what caused his passing, it sucks because he was definitely entertaining in and out of the ring. Obviously, I can still taste his finger to this day.
Barf.
And there's a lot of people that said yes, Balls had his demons, but I'm seeing people like Rude Boy Riley, like Gregory Irons, sorry, didn't mean to throw the S on there. There are a lot of people who are like, look, Balls was nothing but ever, I've shared locker rooms with him. He was always legit. He was always cordial. I mean, there's the other stories, and there's always 3 sides to every story. This one, that one, and the right one.
There you go.
And, Balls is definitely both famous and infamous.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say this, and then last I'll say is, pro wrestling definitely lost a character, and he definitely and pro wrestling definitely lost an entertainer.
Yes.
Like I said, I never shared a ring. Never shared a ring with him, onion or otherwise. Nor did I ever share a locker room with him. Like I said, met him. You know, there was a couple other times I met him briefly after ECW shows when they used to do the Birmingham thing. Definitely, he was fun to talk to, and I could tell, you know, at that time, the way he interacted with fans, he loved the fans. You can legitimately tell just by watching him come down the autograph line, those that legitimately love not just their fans, but pro wrestling fans in general. So, you know, it sucks. You know, it wasn't too long ago, and I meant to bring it up on the other show until my phone cut it out, or last time I called in, until my phone cut out. But the passing of Blackjack Mulligan.
Yeah.
You know, I got into professional wrestling at the tail end of Blackjack's career, and then he was kind of there when they tried to bring the new Blackjacks in.
Right.
But you know, it was definitely sad to hear the passing, you know, his passing, and thoughts go out to, you know, Barry and Kendall Windham for their dad, Mike Rotundo for, you know, his father-in-law, and of course Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas for losing their grandfather. So, but you know, and then now, you know, find out Balls Mahoney passed away. Wasn't that long ago that Axel Rotten passed away. Balls' you know, tag team partner,
right?
Former tag team partner. So, you know, if you live fast and you live hard, it'll eventually catch up to you if you're not careful.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
But, you know, like I said, though, pro wrestling definitely lost a character and a tremendous performer. So rest in peace, Balls. Yeah.
And I'll reiterate what I said during the when Josh was on and I first got the news from Phil Stamper, that I do feel like I speak for the entire Beyond Ringside family of shows and all of the different casts when we offer up thoughts, prayers, condolences, and to the family and inner circle of friends that you find, you know, our best wishes for a moment of peace in a very trying time. But also going to throw this one out there real quick. Now, I know that you've been talking about this one, but I'm also going to ask, do you have anything you'd like to throw out there for last call?
No, pretty much said it all. I mean, I can tell you right now, this is definitely I hate to take it back from the late '80s, early '90s WWE, but the new generation is starting to you know, plant their foothold into the WWE. It's definitely changing. We're going through another, like I said, with the knockouts, another renaissance. You're going to see different styles coming in, different styles, you know, guys being brought up, styles that you could only see at one point, and no pun intended with AJ, but you know, styles that you could only ever really see back on the independents are now definitely starting to come in with AJ Styles, with Kevin Owens, with Sami Zayn, with Apollo Crews, you know, with Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. You know, you're going to see the Japanese style with same thing with Shinsuke Nakamura.
What segment did they debut in?
The Usos. I don't count segments. It was the Usos tag tournament match against Social Outcast.
The New Day Booty Invitational.
Yes, the New Day Booty. Oh, Big E. Talking about something now that March Sadness is over with.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you see Usos versus Social Outcast, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson hit the ring right after they come out of the crowd. So,
Holy
some
Scott!
people are like, oh, they're going to form the 3-man team with AJ. Nah, you know who it's going to be. It's going to be old Finsky.
Yep, I will agree to that too.
And I love the shirt that I saw. I don't know if it was a pro wrestling T-shirt, because I think he might still have he might still have a Pro Wrestling Tees store. I don't know. Or it might be a WWE shirt. But Finn Balor had a shirt on the other day. I saw it. And it said, "The Prince is dead." And I was like, oh. So, yep, that's it.
All right, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, going to go to a quick break and find out what's up with Phil, and we'll be back on Back to Basics in just a moment. Hang tight.